Hello friends, welcome to Risingpearl.com. We are talking about series 5 where we're learning about polynomials. Today is webisode number 2. Today's topic friends is value of a polynomial. When we talk about value of a polynomial, as you have seen in your earlier webisodes, what we really mean by that is the value of a polynomial at a particular value of the variable. So we are going to explore and refresh our knowledge on value of a polynomial in this webisode. Now, how do we find out the value of a polynomial? When we substitute the variable in the polynomial with the actual value of the variable, we get the value of the polynomial at that value of the variable. So obviously, like we always will take a look at a lot of examples and we clarify this, but what we really are saying is that so far you have seen polynomials such as linear polynomials, quadratic polynomials, cubic polynomials, so on and so forth. So here I have written a linear polynomial in variable x, linear polynomial because the degree of this polynomial is 1. Now when we say value of polynomial, so this is our polynomial, right? And we have this polynomial in variable x. That means as you change the value of x, the polynomial itself will take different values. So in order for us to find out really the value of this polynomial px or any polynomial generally speaking, what we do, we need to really take that particular value for x and replace wherever we have x, we replace the x with that value, and whatever the value we get will be the value of the polynomial at that value of x. So let's take a look at some examples. So let's do one thing. Let's write a polynomial. Why don't we take the polynomial which we just looked at? So polynomial in variable x. So let's write 2x plus 5. So this is our polynomial, let's say. This is a linear polynomial. And what we want to do is we want to find the value of this polynomial px, which is 2x plus 5, at different values of x. So let's say we want to find out what is the value of this polynomial at x equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, what is the value of polynomial? And you know from earlier classes that we represent that like this. So p for polynomial and within bracket or parenthesis 0. So 0 because we are trying to find out the value of this polynomial, in this case at x equals to 0. Similarly, we would also want to find out, let's say x equal to minus 2, and then let's say we will take one more at x equal to how about plus 3. So for p0, so we want to find out p0, p minus 2, and p3. What are the values of this polynomial at these different values of x? So for p0, what we do, wherever we have x, we will replace the x with the actual value. So in this case 0. So we will have 2 times 0 plus 5, and we will get 2 times 0 is 0 plus 5, so we will end up with plus 5. So p0 is equal to 5. That means this polynomial at x equal to 0, the value of this polynomial is 5. Similarly for minus 2, so what we will do, we will take the 2, which is this 2, the coefficient, instead of x we will put minus 2, which is the value of the variable, and then plus 5. So this will be minus 4 plus 5, so 5 minus 4, 1. So value of this same polynomial at x equal to minus 2, the value of this polynomial is 1. Similarly, the value at x equal to 3 or p3 will be 2 times 3 plus 5. So 6 plus 5, 11. So here friends, we have taken a linear polynomial, and at different values of x we found out what are the values of the polynomial at each of these different values of x. So let's probably take some more examples. This time let's write maybe a quadratic polynomial. So let's say this time we say our px is equal to something like maybe let's say 2x squared minus 3x plus maybe 5. So this is a polynomial, and this is a quadratic polynomial because the highest power to which the variable x is raised is 2, right? So now again we will do the same thing. So let's find out the value of this polynomial at different values of x. So let's say we want to find out the value at x equal to maybe minus 1. We want to find out the value at x equal to 2, and we want to find out the value for x equal to 5. So these are some random values that I have taken. I have just randomly picked these numbers. So what I'm trying to highlight here is that we can pick any value of the variable, and simply by replacing the variable with these values you can find out the value of the entire polynomial at these values of the variable. So in this case it will be p minus 1, this will be p2, and this will be p5, right? So for the first one, again we are going to simply replace x with minus 1. So 2 minus 1 times square minus 3, x will be replaced by minus 1, and then we have 5. So this one will be, so minus 1 square, minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1, and 2, so we will have 2. Now minus 3 times minus 1 is plus 3, and then we have plus 5. So this will be 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5, 10. So this will be 10. So p minus 1 is 10. Similarly for this one, it will be 2 times minus 1 square minus 3 times 2 plus 5. So this value will be equal to, so let's see, so this will be again 2. Actually I should have put, we are taking x equal to 2 here. So 2 times x, this should be 2 square minus 3 times 2 plus 5. So we have 2 square is 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 8 minus 6, 8 minus 6 plus 5. So this value will be, so 8 minus 6 is 2 plus 5 is 7. So value of this polynomial at x equal to 2 will be 7. And similarly for the last one at x equal to 5, it will be 2 times 5 square minus 3 times 5 plus 5. So which will be, so 5 squares are 25, 2s are 50, let's do it here, 50 minus 15, so and plus 5, so this will be 35, plus 5 is 40. So in this case friends, at different values of x, and this value again we have randomly taken these values, we can take any value for the variable, and simply by replacing the variable with those values in the actual polynomial, we find the value of the entire polynomial at those values of the variable.